in response to why you're afraid of anyone on earth, in all honesty, there's not one of you in this room who is afraid of anybody. Not one. But what you're afraid of is this thing that made a home in you that you have identified with. You still think that is you. You still identify that. And when it's presented to you, meaning that when you do feel the fear, or you're trying to please someone, or you're afraid of losing this, or you don't have enough money, or whatever, when that appears to you, you try to save yourself from it rather than just facing it and allowing God to save you from it. Just let it be there. Just notice it and see it. Don't have a conversation with it. Don't have a conversation about it, but you just watch it. Because what's happening when this thing, when the fear or whatever appears, and it starts trembling, and it starts racing in your head, it's running from the light, but you don't know it. And so you join forces with it by identifying with it. But it is afraid that you might see it and it will have to die. But you won't let it die yet because you still think it's you. And so it has fear. It's not you that have fear. You are sons and daughters of God, and you've gone and forgiven those who have. And now the light is trying to save you. The truth is trying to save you, but you get angry when it appears. You get angry when someone look at you wrong or say the wrong thing to you. You get angry, and you won't feel this fake thing that made a home in you and let it die because it feels so much like you. And so you reject God and you don't trust him. The moment you get angry at what someone says to you, the moment someone can make you feel good, you're just all into it, you are rejecting God. And God is trying to save you, you don't even know it. Because you won't let that thing just be there and let him take care of it. You try to fix it. Or you'll say, oh, I'm so afraid. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so this and I'm so that. You're still claiming it as you, and there's nothing God can do. You should, and I've said this before, you should welcome the world attacks. Welcome those attacks. If they build an army against you, welcome the army. And watch this thing rise up in fear and trembling, worrying, and doubting, and whatever. And just watch it. Go on about your day, and just watch that thing. Have your life going on, and the real you will start to live because that thing is being destroyed. But you won't trust God. And what you don't realize too is that thing that rises up in you is an old nature. It's your old nature, which is of the devil, and you still think it's your nature, and it's not. No matter what the situation is, drinking alcohol, smoking pot, taking fentanyl, think about committing suicide, or having sex, or whatever it is, it's a thing that's in you. It's your old nature. And if you don't endure that without judging it, there's nothing God can do about it. Because you identify with it as your own. You're afraid to let it die because it feels like you're dying. But you got to feel the fear. And I'm telling you, that old nature will be destroyed. It starts, layers after layers start to disappear. And you will find yourself to start living this world in a totally different way. A totally different way. And you would never think about your body, your mind, and those emotions. All that stuff would start to disappear. And God said that if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you can grow into something else. Meaning that when those fears and when those loneliness and when those doubts and when those anxieties and when those depressions come, when desire to love comes, if you just let it be, you're showing the faith of a mustard seed, and you're growing into something else. But you got to let this thing die. It's not you. You got to trust God. And trusting God is just not an idea, and it's just not saying, oh, I trust God. You don't trust him. You don't trust him. You still trust ideas. You trust your little plans. You trust that you think you know what you're doing. You trust that you think you know what you want. You trust that you can get it from someone else. You trust that if you have more money, you'll be satisfied. If you had $100 million right now in the bank, cash, under your bed, you would still feel like you don't have nothing. You don't have enough. Because it's not about that. It's about the resentment of the heart. It's about not trusting God. Let this thing happen. Let Satan degrade you, put you down, make you feel everything, and face it. Let it happen. It's just him dying, not you. It's evil leaving your body and your mind. And you've been made into something else. That old nature have to die. And if you trust God, you will let it die. And then you will live a perfect life right here on earth. And all these wars would be going on, and mess would be happening, and Israel and Jerusalem be, and Palestine would be fighting. Putin and his folks would be fighting. You would see we have a weak president. You would see that the economy is bad out there, but it wouldn't bother you at all because you have no fear. You would never think that enough is not enough. You would never think that, no matter who had what. You would never think, oh, I wish I had that. Because you would be satisfied with what you have. It'll be more than what you need. But you're not trusting God. You're still thinking the things that's happening inside of you is you. You gotta just let go and let this thing be. And God will help you. And your ideas about God is not God. Your ideas about how he's going to help you is not God. You'll never be helped with your ideas. You got to let go, and help will come, and you would know it. And you wouldn't even have to think about, oh, I wonder if God helping me. Because Satan starts screaming out. Somebody said you just want to hate was saying that, he just feel like throwing up their hand. That's not hate that feel that way, that's the devil telling him that. Throw up your hand, meaning like, keep me alive. That's the devil telling you to throw up your hand. He told me the same thing. Give up, it ain't gonna work. But I knew it was a voice in my head, and it wasn't from me, and it wasn't from God. So I knew it was from him. You got to be still, meaning don't overreact to this and die from it. And you can die. And once you do it a little bit, you're going to have that mustard seed. And you'll want to do a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And that old nature is dying. Now that you have love, you've gone and forgiven. Now that you have the love on your side, which is the nature of God, you take care of the darkness, the false identities. You should never, ever, ever say I when it comes to that stuff. It's not you. I'm lonely. No, you're not. I'm sad. No, you're not. I'm rich and I'm poor and I'm this. It's not you. It's not you at all. You got to feel this stuff. When somebody makes you mad, don't say, oh, I'm mad, and go off. Just quietly be mad. And watch the spirit, you know what I mean? Because it's not you, and nobody can save you from it. No money, no family, no preacher, no teacher. Only the Spirit of Father can deal with the spirit of evil. But you gotta really trust it, and you gotta really work on yourself. When I give you guys these spiritual questions, I'm gonna give you homework, and I'm giving you the homework that I'm doing. And it works, but you got to work on you. Nobody else can do it. But you got to work on yourself. It should be fun working on yourself by now for some of you. But y'all ain't having no fun. Who having fun working on themselves right now? Now everybody said they are, right? You should be having fun with this because you're overcoming darkness. You're overcoming all this mess that's inside of you. And believe me, it's inside of you. It ain't out there. Everything that you're feeling, every lonely feeling, every sadness, every anger, every jealousy, every strife that you feel isn't here. It's not out there. You can't look at anyone and blame them for what you feel. And the devil tell you, oh, they making you mad. They said this to you or that to you. No, they didn't. The devil is telling you that. That makes sense a little bit? You really got to take it. You must, as the young lady was saying there, you must die from this thing. And it's not going to die until you let go. And other people are not going to know that you're dying because you're going to be walking around looking the same. But you'll know that you're dying or that it is dying. But at some point, you got to put your feet on solid ground and trust that God got this, no matter how you're trembling. Because I'm telling you, it's in your world. It's all in you. It ain't out there. It ain't in somebody else. They got the same thing going on with them, and that's inside of them. But everything that you're dealing with is inside of you. It's not outside of you. And you got to really work on yourself, folks. You should ask some of your older people who've been here for a while, you need to be coming here with good news. You know, I saw this. I worked on the biblical question. I realized why I'm afraid. But y'all don't, some of you, don't seem like you're really working on it. But you're not going to get better until you work on you. You're never going to have enough. You're never going to be free. You're never going to be have a clear mind. You're going to always have this pain in your body because you're not working on you. You're not watching. And that's all I need to do is watch. Do nothing else about it. We're being taken care of. God love us. But some of you don't even trust me with a grain of mustard seed grain because you keep fighting for your own life and you can't do it. And I don't care what has happened in the past, that doesn't exist anymore. The only thing that exists is right now. What you're going to do about now. And we all done some stupid stuff in the fallen state where we couldn't see. But it doesn't have to stay that way. And God is not holding that against us. Human beings may judge you because they're in darkness too, but that's on them. Why do you even think about what somebody else think about you? It's not enough to say, I don't care. If you didn't, when you really don't even think about what someone is saying about you, you don't care then. You don't have to say, oh, I don't care what somebody think about me. Yes, you do. That's why you're saying, I don't care. You're trying to convince yourself you don't care, but you care. But when you don't think about it, then you don't care. That makes sense? You really got to go through this. If you want to live, you must die. The ego spirit, which is of the devil. And then there's no competition with anyone. There's no taking sides on anyone. There's no joining an army with anyone. You lay your weapon down and you live your life. And when you need to fight in a physical way, you see how to do that in the right way. But you got to die spiritually. Any questions about that? Do y'all understand that you got to stop fighting what's happening inside?
Yes.
Really, you gotta just take it. It ain't you that's dying, it's it. It's all identities, all plans, all things you think you want. That's why I'm telling you, don't go from being an Israelite identified with that to now try to be a Christian. It will just become an identity. But your heart will be wicked. Christians' hearts are wicked. Why are you making that face?
It's just very, thank you. It's just very, it's an interesting thing. Because I see what you're saying, but I'm like, they present such great ideals of like, okay, this is what Jesus is, this is what God is, this is and that. But a lot of people's perception of Christians are not like what they present.
Right. They're just presenting ideas, but their hearts are far away from God. They just have the idea that somebody told them, and they read in the Bible, and the devil told them. But it's just ideas, but their hearts are wicked. They treat folks just like the Israelites treat folks, with hate and not love. That's what wars are all about. The war that's happening right now, it's about hate and money. Both sides want to kill each other. And that's what you do in your world. You have wars all the time with others and with yourself. Lay your weapon down.